good morning and welcome to the Morning Blend Show, only on the one and only Happy Valley Radio. Yes, you do have your lovely, most beautiful hosts in studio. Yes, Devon Smith is here. Say hello, Devon.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Devon. And I am Rebecca Paramel, and we are taking you through from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yes, this is Happy Valley Radio. And of course, Happy Valley Radio is a radio station by the community and for the community. And for that matter, we have arranged for a wonderful, most beautiful, most terrific guest to come in studio this morning. Her name is Renee Smith. She is here and she is here to dive into the topic of mental health.
So excited.
It's going to be so amazing. Renee, would you like to say hello to the people?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. I mean, mental health is such a pertinent thing in society today. So, Renee, firstly, how are you feeling?
A little bit nervous,
be honest?
but quite excited as well.
Of course, no, definitely. So, what we know about you is you are an honor student and you work at the South African Depression and Anxiety Group call center. So, really, let's just dive into mental health. And I feel like now, in this day and age, in this society, mental health is sort of like a trend. You know, people are actually quite bold in stating that, hey, I'm actually struggling with this, or I'm actually battling with some sort of mental capacity. And this is just what we want to talk about today. So our first question for you, and of course, Renee, I know you're feeling a little bit nervous, but we're starting out simple, okay, very simple. Our first question is, what is your background in psychology and what inspired you to actually dive into this type of career path?
So I would say my journey into psychology is one that's deeply personal. In high school, I struggled with my own mental health challenges and I felt I had no real guidance on how to handle those feelings. Then once I got to university, my perspective completely shifted. I earned my bachelor degree in psychology and criminology in April of this year from University of Pretoria, and being away from home completely broadened my worldview. I feel I met so many people from different walks of life with their own stories and their own struggles, which really reinforced that I was in the right field.
Of course,
because it fascinated me why people do the things they do, why their behaviors are the way they are, and I also just wanted to help people make sense of their stories. So I would say this field isn't just about theory for me, it's personal. It's about the support that I would have wanted when I was younger. And these past 4 years of studying have reinforced the deep conviction that understanding people's minds and behaviors isn't just something interesting. It's actually extremely powerful, and it's the key to helping people to live better lives.
Okay.
I love that. Okay, guys. All right, and I also have a question for you. That was such a good answer, and I mean, you've come such a long way. And yeah, I mean, congratulations. I'm sure to everyone right now that's listening, they are truly inspired that you turned something that seems to be bad into something so positive and good. So another question for you today. So you work at a mental health call center. So can you tell us more about that, and like what does your day look like at the call center, at the mental health call center?
So I work for SADAG, that's the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. It's a national toll-free call line that dedicates time to mental health support for people across South Africa. It's actually one of the largest mental health support systems in our country. They offer a safe space for anyone dealing with mental health challenges such as depression, anxiety, suicide, trauma. I will say working at SADAG is an emotional roller coaster.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
On any given day, you do not know who is about to be on the end of that other call. It could be someone feeling isolated, someone needing to talk, or it could be someone in the middle of a crisis. And suicide calls in particular are absolutely heart-wrenching. You have to think on your feet because every second counts. But at the same time, you also need to remain calm because your energy is setting the tone for that conversation. So I feel it's a very difficult balance between urgency and empathy. It's really not easy, but I will say that it's fulfilling in a way that you know you've made a difference in someone's darkest moments, and I think that's what stays with you the most. And I feel it's not just a job, it's more of a responsibility.
Yes.
No, yes. Well, speaking of responsibility, you don't just counsel people, but you are also responsible in training other people to become counselors and equipping them with, the skills that they need for tackling mental health issues. So how do you feel, especially in this type of space, especially in this sphere, with such a responsibility on your shoulders, being tasked with training others? How do you feel about that?
I would say it's honestly the most rewarding part of my work, because when you're training other people, you're not just teaching them skills, you're actually passing on a mindset. It's a way of thinking that could ripple out and help countless people. And I've been through the trial and error phase, so I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and it feels really amazing to help some people skip past those mistakes that I've made and see them step into these roles with a bit more confidence. But more than that, I think it's about knowing that the people that I'm training are going to be the ones who will pick up that phone and help someone else in need.
Yes,
so that domino effect is actually what really keeps me motivated.
Okay, so you are a permanent counselor, sorry. So you are a permanent counselor at SADC. And are you perhaps involved in any other programs or community outreach initiatives?
So right now Honours has completely taken over my life.
No, of course,
absolutely exhausting.
Yes.
So my main focus is SADC, but I'm also on my college's Student Representative Council, which is a different kind of involvement, but it's still very much about being there for people. And in the past I've also worked in children's church, which taught me a lot about the importance of building strong emotional foundations from a young age. And there's just something so special about helping children understand their feelings and giving them the tools to help express themselves when they're not completely sure how to. And I think it also really made me realize that every adult was once a child, and we all had dreams, we all had aspirations, and then suddenly life happened. So that's why I really try to take care of those around me as if they were still a child, just needing some extra love, some extra care, and a hand to hold when things get a bit heavy. So I do definitely carry all those lessons with me in everything that I do.
That is such a good perspective to have. Everyone was once an innocent child, they didn't know how to deal with all the trauma or childhood experiences. And it's something that is so blatant in the public eye today and in our society is the mental well-being in schools, the education behind it, the awareness, all of those things. And Devar and myself, we deal with youth in our personal side ventures. So what can you tell us about the mental health in schools today? Do you find that there are more teenagers or young adults calling in for assistance at the call center?
Absolutely. I would say that teenagers today are so much more aware of mental health than previous generations, and social media actually plays a very big role in that. It's created a safe space where people can talk openly about their mental health challenges without as much stigma. But I think what really gives me hope is seeing how parenting styles are changing. Many parents now understand how crucial those first years of childhood are. And we're seeing more practices like gentle parenting, which lays the foundation for children to be in an emotionally secure environment, which is very key in shaping them. But with that said, teenagers are still facing massive pressures from academics to social media and navigating their identities. So there's so many terms and labels and overwhelming amounts of information available at their fingertips because of social media, which is difficult to navigate what's actually helpful or what's inherently harmful to you. So even though we do see more teens reaching out, we also see more teen parents wanting to gain a deeper understanding of what their children might be facing, which is a massive sign of progress.
So important,
And it also means that they recognize they need help and they aren't afraid to ask for it, which is the most important fact of it all.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. And obviously you are studying the intricacies, sorry, pardon me, but you are studying like the important things of the mind and the body and the social structures that formulate mental capacity. And then you're also counseling individuals and providing them with necessary interventions. So how do you manage to maintain your own well-being? Where do you draw the line between work and home?
So honestly, I'm not always great at it.
It's okay, it happens.
There are days where the stress of balancing everything, work, studies, personal life, just feels a bit overwhelming, to the point where it actually takes a physical toll on me. But I have learned to recognize when I'm reaching that point, and before I get there, I make a conscious effort to step back. I will say I'm extremely academically driven, and I strive to be a top performer in all that I do. So that focus naturally on putting my academics first just lets everything else fall into line afterwards. But there's definitely times when the stress piles up. And I've learned the hard way that if I don't care for myself, then I can't show up for others. So for me, my faith is a huge source of strength. And when things feel too heavy, I just give them to God. That is the most important way, I'd say, that I find peace and reset. On a practical level, I carve out time for things that recharge me. So going to the gym, going for coffee, having a walk, spending time with the people I love. But honestly, the truth is you can't pour from an empty cup. So I daily remind myself that taking care of my mental health is not just for me, it's for the people that I love and for the people that I'm trying to help too.
Okay, very, very interesting. I think you actually give that vibe of being very academically inclined, I must say. But you know what, speaking of this balance between work and home, do you feel that people, especially in the younger generations, are perhaps discouraged to join this field because of such a great responsibility you have, or the impact psychology has as a whole?
I do. I think people underestimate how much the field demands of you, because it's not just about studying psychology, it's about living it daily. So every session, every call, every interaction is requiring you to show up fully. And it's even when you're tired, when you're heartbroken, when you're dealing with your own struggles. So it takes a very specific type of person to constantly assist someone else in their darkest moments when you're also facing your own at the same time. And there's definitely days where you just feel at your wit's end, but you have to be fully present for that person who's counting on you. And I think what makes it even heavier is the responsibility. So for example, when I'm on a call with someone in a crisis, it hits me that I am the only person standing between them and an irreversible decision that's going to be absolutely life-changing, and that weight is immense. So in many ways, I feel like we're doctors for the soul, and we're just working on healing these invisible wounds when people feel that no hope exists. And then the academic journey is also no joke. It's long, it's intense, and not everyone has the resilience to push through. But you know what? For the people who do, the rewards are immeasurable. You get to witness human resilience, and you get to be a part of someone's healing journey as well, which is an incredible experience in itself. It's difficult in all senses of difficult, but it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely, okay.
Wow, guys. So at the Morning Blend, we are all about motivation and staying hopeful, no matter what. So I'm sure, especially in your line of work, there are some days when you are feeling all the heaviness and intensity of what you do. So what inspires you to get up in the morning? Like, do you have any quotes or mantra that you live by?
Okay, so this is a bit of a detailed explanation.
Okay.
So for me, mainly, it's about the vision that I have for my life. Once I set my mind on something, there's no person, no obstacle, nothing that's going to convince me otherwise. And I've also never been a person who settles. Not in places, not in situations.
Not in people.
Not in people, not in mindsets that don't align with where I want to be. And I hold myself to a very high standard because I know that I'm capable of reaching it. I think I've also just mastered the art of showing up. So showing up tired, showing up drained, showing up sick. Sometimes that's all you just need to do, is just show up and give it your all while you can and while you have the opportunity to do that. Because if you think about it, in 1 year, things are going to be completely different, and I would hate to have regrets of not doing something when I did have the opportunity to do it. So my mantra is quite simple. It's leave people better than you found them.
That's
what Thank you. That's what drives me every day. So whether it's a stranger on the phone or a close friend, I want every interaction I have to leave a positive mark on that person. And honestly, my parents inspire me so much. They have been my cheerleaders in everything. My mom is my best friend. She is the woman that I look up to in everything. She is the epitome of grace and strength.
Oh, I love that.
And my dad, on the other hand, has taught me that no matter how you feel, tired, upset, overwhelmed, you get up and you get things done.
Yes, ma'am.
And that resilience is something that I carry with me every single day. So whenever I feel like giving up, I think of the sacrifices that they've made to get me here, and that really keeps me going.
Well, wherever your mom and dad are, you know, shout out to them.
Shout out. We love the parents, guys. They do the most.
We love the
parents.
parents. And you know what? As you said, you know what? You have to just show up, be present. Even if you yourself are not doing okay, you just gotta be there and help others in their journeys. And it's such a good aspiration to have, I must say. It's a good perspective as well. So my last question for you is, what are some of your goals and hopes for the future in regards to your passions and your interests?
So I would say my ultimate goal is to become a registered clinical psychologist and to earn my doctorate. It's a dream that I've held on to for years, and I feel like every step that I'm taking is now building towards that.
Yeah.
I want to just be a light for people who can't see one for themselves.
It's incredible, man.
Beyond that, I would like to shift the way that mental health is approached, especially in communities when access to care is limited. So I want to aim to help people gain a deeper understanding of their problems, or why they do what they do simply. I feel like it really assists in your personal growth and ultimately giving someone the space to be the best version of themselves. Everyone deserves support and understanding, no matter their circumstances, mistakes, or background.
So true.
Shoot, guys, like, Venice, don't you want to be my therapist now?
And we have the same service, so friends and family discussions.
Okay, so just final question that I want to leave you with today. If there is somebody right now listening and they are always battling with their mental health, with what lasting encouragement can you leave them with today?
So I think you just need to be aware that you are in full control of who you want to be, and what you are not actively changing, you are ultimately actively choosing. So when you start to believe that you're loved, that you're worthy of receiving love, and that you really deserve the goodness the world has to offer, that's when something inside of you really shifts. And for anyone who's going through a healing process, it's not linear, and there are days that may feel impossible. It's all a part of the process. Mental health is not taboo. It's completely human. And if you are choosing to work on yourself, for yourself, no one else but you, then that is one of the most bravest and most powerful decisions you can ever make in your life. And another thing is that help is always available. You are never ever truly alone, and there are people who care, who want to listen, and who want to walk this journey with you. So you just need to believe that you deserve that support and seek it where you can.
Absolutely. And what you just said, what you are not actively changing, you are actively choosing. I actually write that down. I absolutely love that. Well, guys, you heard it right here. That is Renice on her take on mental health. It was an absolute pleasure. You have done so
Thank
well.
you so much.
Honestly, such an inspiration, really. Like, I feel like young people should really look up to you and see how you've changed, you know, your mindsets on what you were going through and what you turned it into. And it's just so amazing. Congratulations, and like all the best for the rest of your journey. Absolutely love it.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys.
And you know what? You have touched so many lives. And you might not even realize it yet. Maybe one day in the future you'll actually understand what great and goodness you are doing in the world today, and we are absolutely all for that. We did get a message saying, good morning beautiful Devon and Rebecca. Shout out to the guest speaker today. It takes a great person to give off yourself. Keep up the amazing work. God bless. Have a wonderful Friday from Sam.
Love it.
What a beautiful. You see, you have people rooting for you everywhere. You don't even know these people you don't even know. But it was such a pleasure having you. Thank you for being here. Any last thoughts?
Thank you, ladies. It was absolutely wonderful, and thank you everyone for their support as well.
Well, we did get another message saying amazing talk by Renice. You see, People just love your Denise, man. You're such a natural. So we are going to break into some music, and then when we return, we are going to pose some lovely would you rather questions to the lovely Denise Smith. The time right now is 27 minutes past 8. We have just concluded our interview with Denise Smith, but we are going to come straight back. But for now, enjoy the music. This is The Morning Blend.